You snake with your rotten mouth and your rancid fucking
My name's Corey. I'm the vocalist for Outer Worlds.
I'm Peter. I'm the bassist.
I'm Dean. I'm the rhythm guitarist. Hey, I'm Joel, lead guitarist.
G'day, Dave, drummer.
Well, the band sort of started in 2019, but this lineup, 18 months?
I think it's actually since April 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's just over 2 years, I think.
It's almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So can you share the story on how Outer Worlds formed back however so many years ago? What's the story?
Yeah, that was me. I was in another band before I started this and sort of wasn't happy with what was going on. So I'm like, I'm just going to start my own thing, write my own songs. Got the vocalist from that band to help me out and record some stuff. And then COVID hit, so like a year or two of just doing nothing. And then we sort of decided to get the lineup going and got a band, and it's changed a little bit since then. But yeah, that's basically how it happened.
It all really came together. Even though we threw Corey out of this conversation, like we were all good, but then Corey came in, we all clicked, and things since then have really been going well. We're all very happy.
Yeah, we were essentially floating, not really having any direction.
Yeah.
And then we found the missing piece, and it worked a treat.
Your music's heavily inspired by 2000s metalcore, which I love. I get a lot of Killswitch Engage and As I Lay Dying, which I love.
Yeah.
From that era that has influenced your sound the most, how do you incorporate those influences into the music?
Plagiarism.
Without plagiarism.
You find a riff you like the sound of. It's like, how can we do that without ripping it off 100%? And then
2 semitones jumped up.
yeah, pretty much.
Is there any like specific noises or instruments or sounds that really set it off for you?
I think a big part of it's pushing melodicism through the heaviness of the actual instruments.
Totally.
And that's done through vocals. And Joel's lead style is very melodic and almost ambient to some degree in certain songs. And I think that really just hones in the 2000s metalcore, which we all love the sound of.
Yeah.
Beautiful choruses, crushing verses,
Yes.
and a breakdown.
Yes.
That's just
Delicious. That's exactly what I like. You guys are also known for balancing heaviness and emotion. How do you approach achieving this balance of heaviness and emotions? Because, you know, you're trying to introduce somebody to heavier music. They don't know what the fuck they're saying. But if they were to read the lyrics, then they'll be like, oh shit, like, I should call my therapist type stuff, you know? So how do you guys balance such, you know, heaviness and heavy emotion and just create the magic that you guys do? Like, do you come sing from the heart, from past experiences, or just like what goes on?
I feel like it's a combination of all of that. So when Corey writes lyrics, he does it in such a methodical way that just elicits emotions. Whereas in reality, you would have zero idea what he's actually singing. Yeah. It's just, listen to the song, and the song will tell me the direction it wants to go in. So if I listen to the chorus, that's usually where I find the first bit of lyrics that sets the theme for what I'm going to be singing about. And I want to be able to connect emotionally in the chorus. So obviously the choruses are usually going to be sung. And I'm more or less acting. I'm drawing on a past experience or at least some kind of preferred experience. And I'm trying to convey that in the chorus, and then having the verse be more or less like context for the actual chorus itself. So it's allowed to be brutal because it's not trying to elicit emotion. It's trying to set the stage for that emotion to then blossom into the chorus.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how we can balance it, because Joel's able to be so emotive with his songwriting, which is most of the EP was Joel's work, that it's quite easy for me to make that idea a reality.
Yeah.
So,
were you a theatre kid in your past life, Corey?
No.
No.
I mean, I was weird. Was.
I think also that big, band coaching and stuff. It's like, you part of a big part of it was playing it like you mean it, sing it like you mean it, so it's believable, and then that kind of
Translates.
yeah, that just becomes the norm after a while, and that's just the way that you do it without
Thinking about.
So I think that's a part of it.
Totally.
Sure.
But it's believing what you putting into the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
It's
Perfect.
not
Is-
finding things.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Is there any song from Demarcation, like each of you, that you resonate with the most, or anything? With all that being said,
Personally, for me, I think it's the new way.
is that for
I think-
all of you?
I think for me, it's hard to say. 'Cause I love all of them, but it's probably going to be self-medicating because that proved so much for me as a vocalist, and it came from a place that I really needed to just let out, and so it's really quite close to the heart for me. So it's definitely self-medicating.
And New Way definitely, because it's like it's about not following the crowd and stuff, and just which
It's the
resonates.
establishment. It's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you too.
For me personally, it'd be Contact, which is the opening track, just because it's like a little bit different with the synth intro and stuff, and it's still like a really heavy song with a really nice chorus. So, and like the ending sort of sets the tone for the rest of the EP. So I feel like it's a really strong one.
Yeah.
Mine, for sure. Mine's changed a little bit. It used to be Myopic just because it's groovy and fun to play, but I reckon the new way is probably a good call because there's so much diversity just in the song in terms of the way it goes and the waves it kind of hits, and it all comes back hard, but it's still got that same emotion we were talking about before, push through the heaviness, and I really that kind of stuff really resonates with me. So I'd say new way as well.
Oh, beautiful. I actually have some questions sent from fans.
Oh, you really
You have fans! Believe it! So, you guys have touched on this a little bit. So, you said that, was it Joel? You do a lot of the creative process or the writing process for Demarcation, is that right?
Yeah, like everything we've released so far has been mainly me.
Okay, cool. Can you talk us through that creative process, especially with Demarcation?
I think when I sort of write a song, I try and come up with a melody first and then try and work the song around that. So, but also trying to get that emotion as well. So I just sort of play around with like weird sounding chords or that sort of thing and try and like make it about my personal experiences and try and touch on my own feelings when I'm doing it. I think it's like really raw and like it's from the heart.
I don't know, Joel. I know that Joel would probably think that this is just a combination of notes, but there's a definite kind of melodic theme through all of the songs. There's, they're played. There's a diverse range of different kind of rhythms and stuff, but there's a definite thread through it. So it really sounds like Out of Worlds. And I said this on the radio that the PBS FM that we went to, but Joel's got a whole lot of back catalogue, and when Corey came along and made them into songs, it was like those songs were just waiting for that vocal phrasing the whole time kind of thing. It was serendipitous, man. It was pretty cool.
No, that's awesome. Well, you also just helped me answer my next question, sorry. Because this is essentially, I mean, understandably, Corey, you've been around for more than a while. But Demarcation only came out just recently. So it's the debut of you as the lead vocalist, you could say. So this is for everybody. How has Corey's addition influenced the band's sound and dynamic?
0 to 100, basically.
I mean, when I joined the band, or at least when I was auditioning for the band, it was that I heard their back catalogue, and I just heard there's something here. There's something buried beneath what they've got going. If I have the opportunity to jump on this, who knows what the hell is going to happen. So I guess I went in wanting to bring this to 100.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, I think it was like, because we came from a singer that didn't necessarily have his heart in it, to then having somebody that really wanted to create a crack at this, make this become a thing, and he essentially took it on as if it was his own musical baby.
Kind of motivated Preston.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
Like, and without Corey's energy into this project, who knows where we would have been today? Like, we may not have been a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how far after since Corey joined you guys, when did you start working on Demarcation, or was it beforehand, or when did it really start to kick into gear with the creative process with Corey?
I had a few songs.
Everything but 2 songs were already written.
Yeah, there was a few things just sort of sitting there, like just ideas, and then Corey sort of sifted through everything, and yeah, he sort of said,
Yeah.
well, I can do something on this and this and this, and
Yeah.
send us some demos, and we're like, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. And then there was then Myopic, which was just born out of just sitting. We were sitting around with Nick that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just jamming out. It
was just a riff straight up, wasn't it? And then it was the way it ended up in the end was pretty much just exactly the way they played it that first time.
pretty much, yeah.
It was good.
Cool.
Yeah. So it seems
really
like it was made to be, and it just flowed beautifully, and
Yeah.
look at just now.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to write songs. You sort of feel like run out creatively, but then all of a sudden,
It's hard to force write a song.
Yeah.
When it's right, when it's right
Yes.
there, and it's like the muse or whatever you push it to. It's if it's there and it's wanting to be made, it will be made.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, if you have to force it, it's probably shit.
Yeah. So,
Yes, that's right. Touching on the EP, so tracks, or just in general as well. So tracks like Gaslighting, Self-Medicate, and The New Way, they have all collectively gained a lot of streams, which is amazing. Congratulations. What themes or messages do these songs convey? Break it down.
So out of the 3, the one that came first was Self-Medicate out of the 3 that we at least had written in-house. And that's just from a place of longing. You know, you've broken up from any kind of relationship, being it personal or, romantic or anything. That's what it comes from. It's when you have given so much to something and then it ends up turning to shit and you break it off and feeling like you've lost some piece of yourself and trying to find that again, and that battle with yourself and everything happening around it. You know, that's what that core message of Self-Medicate is. It's, why can't I find the piece that was left behind? You know, that whole bit that it's reinforcing. That's Self-Medicate, and then Gaslighting was the next one, and that was it's in the similar place, but it's far more spiteful. it's a really aggressive song. That's more so the enlightened going, maybe I'm reconnecting with that part, and also this person sucks, so this is why. Screw this person, and then calling a spade a spade. They're a shit person, you know, you can see them as the snake they were, as this awful human, so, you know, calling them out. And then The New Way, the last one, that was, that's all saying, I won't listen to the self-help guru, so to speak. So it's more so pointing out the Andrew Tate kind of like that manosphere world where they're preying on people that are lost, because, you know, there's no direction, at least how I feel anymore. And these people come in to try and give some kind of direction, but like, what the fuck do they know?
Yeah.
What's their life? They have no idea. Like, I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
And then that's where the whole idea of, let's criticize this one bit. So instead of coming from a place of emotion, it's a place of critique. And there is emotion in it, but it's more so saying, I won't listen to these guys. I'll make my own way, and we can all make our own way. And that's why it's the new way.
Yeah, it's almost funny when you describe it like that. It's almost like a timeline, like a story.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, I
is
mean,
awesome.
there is that.
You think about it. Given your aim to connect with audiences, as I'm sure you've felt a lot of gigs of your favorite bands, how do you approach your live performances to foster that connection with your fans? What do you guys do?
High energy.
Energy is everything.
Provide a show. Don't just provide music, because 90% of seeing your band is to see them perform.
And also correct involvement.
Yeah.
We're just entertainers. That's what we become. We forego being a musician and just become 5 silly idiots on the stage having a good time.
Mm.
And we just hope that energy translates to the crowd, so it's that back and forth feedback. And
Yeah.
We're there for the crowd just as much as they are there to see us, if that's what they're there to see. So
totally.
we just, just energy, and the best show we can possibly do. Because like which we try not to do, but if we walk off stage knowing we haven't like played our best, then it's like, why do we do this? Like, it's kind of a waste of time for everyone. So that's what we just aim to do.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, me.
Two people will figure out the people.
Yes, exactly. So we've been having a discussion lately about support acts and how they don't really get enough support or love with their shows leading up to the headliner. Like for an example, there could be a giant screen behind you, but you're only allowed a banner. Yeah?
Yeah.
Get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So we think it's a load of bullshit, and I've had this experience even at the Bring Me the Horizon concert early last year when Dane came on. The lights were still on, nothing was going, just a silly little smoke machine. I know she did not want to be there because she did one song with Ollie and that's it. She wasn't really fit for it, but her attitude, the stage setup and everything just ruined the start of the show for us. We were not happy. We weren't having fun. And I've also dealt with many other bands, like even my mates in Bloom, I've seen it happen. Like if they have the material, for example, if they have footage to play on that screen behind them, they should be allowed to use it, to make it 100% from start to finish. I want the juice from you. How do you, I want you guys to talk a little bit more in depth on that one.
I guess
because you guys do open up for a few bands.
Yes.
So I thought,
look, coming at this from a live show experience for 11 years working as an engineer in a lighting tech, I can tell you that if the headline band has brought in their own lighting and their own gear, sure, that is 100% theirs and cannot expect another band to be able to use it. But if it's the house rig and the support act is bringing in their own lighting guy or using the house lighting guy, engineer, anything like that, they should be more than allowed to use any of that stuff to enhance their performance as much as they possibly can. Look, you can't expect the support act to pull out a better lighting show to upstage the headliner, but you still need to at least allow them to utilize the facilities to be able to showcase their talents as well.
yeah.
Like, they're not just the band that you go drink to. You're experiencing those supports because maybe they are really small. Maybe they don't have as big of a following. And the reason why you put them on is to entertain your crowd. Like, you don't want your crowd to not enjoy those support acts.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, they always find bands that sound similar to them or what they think they might like. It's a way to get new fans as well. And I don't know, just since starting this job, yeah, I've noticed it a lot, and I'm trying to get a lot of input from smaller bands themselves, respectively. Because I've recently been offered to be a tour manager recently, and I'm actually going to be working on that as a project for my diploma. So yeah, no, I really, really appreciate your input on that, and you being a tech as well, that just gave me more insight on that. So thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm glad that you guys agree on that. Yeah, if they have it, they should be able to.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's just bullshit. Now, you guys have been touring for a while. Do you have any more tours coming up shortly that you can spill the beans on? Newcastle?
We're trying to.
Look, give us a date and we'll come.
Yeah. At this point, if there's any Newcastle bands that are willing to play with us, hit us up because we will absolutely come up. We don't give a shit. We'll play Sydney, Newcastle, Sydney, whatever order. We don't give a shit. We'll make it a Friday, Saturday night thing. We really want to be up there. We haven't announced it just yet, but there's a gig happening in Geelong very soon, 7th of March. So that's going to be pretty fun. If anyone listening is from the Geelong town area and they get this before the 7th of March, come down. Otherwise, there are some other things that we are trying to have happen in the works. One that we can't announce just yet. Another one that we're hoping to get is we put an expression of interest to open for Slaughter to Prevail, like every other band did.
Ooh.
So I know, but we're, you know,
Oh,
who knows?
happens.
We'll see what happens. I've got my ticket anyway, so I'm still watching.
Corey if we need to be. Don't worry about it.
Self-medicate, unfortunately. Not gonna-
We can see whatever genre you want us to be.
yeah, but
well,
you know,
best of
this
luck for that. I'm crossing everything for you. That would be awesome.
be the dream. Kidding.
Oh yeah, no, crazy. So, any memorable moments from previous shows that you've done?
Oh yeah.
I need to know.
When we did our EP launch, we sold out the venue, and the crowd was just on the whole time. Like we got in the crowd, we were jumping around with it. That's definitely like, my most memorable moment.
We got a nice video of Joel at the end of Contact, which is what we set with right for the breakdown. Corey's doing a little speak, and then it all goes quiet, and then the breakdown kicks in, and Joel's like jumping with the crowd while playing, and it just got all on like phone video, but it just I watch those videos all the time. I think it's like those kind of moments where you're with the crowd, everyone's hyped and everyone's enjoying it together. It's like that's why you come out and be like, that's why we do it. That's exactly why we do it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. If you ever need a cameraman, I just recently hired Jake. He's got one of them fancy gimbals and all this equipment and everything.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. We'll bring that to Newcastle.
Let's set up Newcastle.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What can fans expect from you guys in the future? Like, are there any plans for new music already, or even though you just released it? Because
We're
people are
already
just
talking-
shitting out music non-stop recently. It's hard for me to
Yeah.
keep up, so I'm just like,
And I mean, we're probably going to do that too.
Oh, look, if you have a look in our Google Drive, there is a metric crap ton of things in there ready to go.
But I mean,
We just got to filter out the crap.
Yeah, ton of crap on.
but as far as the crap goes, I'd like to say don't expect what you think. I think that's the best way to go into it. Just metalcore is the meat and potatoes. That is what we are, but we're more than just metalcore. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of inspirations we can draw from, be it heavier or more emotional in some capacities. So metalcore all the way, but we're going to be versatile.
Because all of us, we've all come from different backgrounds of music. We all listen to very different genres, and the only, I guess, glue that we have is that we all enjoy metalcore.
Let's go.
So yeah, we're trying to pull from everyone's favorites.
yeah. No, I love that. I've noticed that a lot of bands are becoming quite experimental lately, and it's been working in their favor as well, and I love it. So yeah, no, keen for that. Yeah, it's ridiculous how many bands are just shitting out all this music. Oh my god, it's like competitive now. I don't know how you guys can handle
It's
it.
almost like everyone got a Pro Tools subscription. Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. So where do you see the band heading in the next few years, and what are your aspirations for the future or goals for the future?
Columbia, let's go.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm going to plateau for the next couple of years.
We talked a lot about this, that we want to play with some better bands. Like we just bigger bands than us, and just because every gig, every sort of lineup that we're on, it's always, we just absolutely dominate as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt.
I'm so humble drummer.
I think the thing for us is that we kind of just don't want to get lost in the noise.
Yeah.
We want to stand out. We want to be that band that is reliable and is just essentially a good staple.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you have any?
Obviously, get out of the country. If we can go tour the world, that's obviously the dream. Europe would be probably our second home, if I'm honest, if we could crack that. But, first of all, earn some bloody money so we can get there. So, and then iron out our stuff, get our cohesive sound ready so that we can have the best foot forward when we do eventually try to crack the international market in some respect.
Surprisingly, music doesn't make that much money.
Really?
Yes.
Would never have thought. No,
No, what you got to do is just be a merch company that secondaries in music.
Yeah, exactly.
Find our square page. Buy our
yes. Always plug it. No, I learned that when I was studying business and music last year. It really opened my eyes on that thing. So I have so much more respect for you guys as musicians. And you know, I'm a musician myself, but like I said, I haven't released anything, and like because it's hard. Even just posting your music out there is fucking expensive these days. Like and the shit that Spotify is currently getting as well, and record labels are getting. Yeah, no, I understand. So you guys gave Slaughter to Prevail a little nudge, but is there any other bands in particular you would dream to tour with one day?
Look, I'd love to do a tour with Wind Waker. That would be
Wind Waker would be
my
dope.
favourites.
Yeah. Parkway Drive, naturally. just shoot.
Look, Killswitch and Games, that'd be lovely. Yeah.
The obvious metalcore staples, you know, just getting on a bill with them and showing them that we're keeping their torch alight, but in a new way. That's what I want to do. I want to turn their
pun intended.
Yeah.
So how do you guys stay inspired and motivated in the musical journey?
Scared of Corey yelling at us.
Yes, authoritarian.
You're like the stereotypical singer of the group, just big bossy bitch.
Yeah.
I just get an itching to make a new song, and I was like, "Oi, boys, this please." And they tell me to fuck off initially, but we get there. It's
sorry, honestly, I think all the motivation for me, or for us, but for me in particular, comes from actually playing and jamming together. Because I find we have jammed since our last gig, and you feel the motivation kind of dip down a little bit, but then you jam, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this is sick," you know. You miss it, you get excited, you play gigs, and that motivation goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Like I know I write the most when we're playing the most, so it's just keeping the momentum of the band going, and then you just stay.
And I think the bonus is like all of our personalities actually mix well. We don't really clash at all.
Don't
yet. Oh, he's a cunt.
Don't jinx it, Corey. That's a rarity. You've seen all these, you've seen all the things that are going on. Dare I say, even with like the Amity Affliction currently, it's heartbreaking, but it's nothing new. So when you have that relationship, it means a lot. And Bloom's another great example. They've been friends for like years before they got together. Even just the concept of jamming together, and it's worked in their favor. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
Sick.
We want to see the bands get along because we want to have that hope for the future that you guys are keeping that legacy going and whatnot. So yeah,
it's good being in a band that actually wants to. I don't think there's any point being in a band that doesn't want to get better, and play bigger venues and get to a wider audience, and get better at songwriting and that. And I think everyone here knows that this is an opportunity. Whether it happens or not is kind of not the point.
Yeah.
It's like just because
it's more the journey.
Yeah. Exactly. Without sort of saying that, because it's just fun to jam, but at the same time, you do just want to get better, and you want to be, you can. I don't know. I mean, I picture us, doing big things, but when you talk about,
want to be taken a bit more seriously, isn't it?
yeah.
I reckon, because it's a lot of work and a lot of it's a huge commitment, but it's the most fun commitment you can have, really.
Yeah, and you guys are kind of in that stage where it is the most challenging part, because you're not quite there yet to do it full time. It's hard to all get together because you guys all have lives, but you all collectively have that same dream and same goal. And it's just consistency over everything. You could collaborate with any artist or band, past or present, dead or alive, whoever. Who would it be and why?
such a big question.
Collaborate with any artist or band.
I'd be scared to play guitar in front of my favorite band.
I would say Howard Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I could get Howard Jones, I would probably die. Yeah, that'd be me.
Yeah. Okay, Howard Jones, that's cool.
Yeah.
Matt Heapy, he's my.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Heapy's my.
Imagine. That'd be
I'd be fangirling more than I would be writing a song.
Anybody else?
I'm not.
Look, no. Like, I don't want to answer that because I've got so many on my list. But, yeah. I really want to fucking collaborate with like a rap artist.
No, you don't.
No.
I really do.
No.
What's going on in the world currently with all these rappers?
I know,
cut that
that's
out.
the problem.
Why would you want to work with them?
Just because, like, I grew up listening to a lot of that stuff, and before it was like taboo.
Just set up a Tech 9.
Yeah, look, I would
Yeah.
settle for Tech 9.
Okay, let's go.
Do you fuck with Alpha Wolf?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured you would. Now, as we touched on it, you guys, like I said, you're at that stage where it's hard to do it full time. You guys do have, jobs outside of this, private lives. So, what do you guys enjoy doing outside of Outer Worlds?
I like to do track running. That's my thing. So
Corey's like an athlete.
used to be, but that's my
Corey's
kind of
better than all of us put together.
I'd say.
just a bit of fun. So
Will never catch me running a day in my life.
I don't like
That's-
I don't
I've
like
lost
running
70
either.
kilos, and I didn't do it running.
Normal people don't run. Innocent people don't run.
Apart from work and general life, this is what I like to do in my spare time. That's it.
Hmm.
Just this.
Plays for hours. Crazy.
Yeah. Don't believe it. He's like, no, just keep going.
I've actually recorded my practice times on that calendar.
Oh my God.
If you can tackle it.
Yeah, look, I've got a lot of hobbies and stuff that I like to do. I like to ride bikes. I like to do electronic projects, and I like to paint Warhammer.
God, my brothers would love you.
but yeah, like I feel like all of my hobbies are very non-music based
Hmm.
because I don't like to saturate myself with doing the same thing over the course of my life. And so I treat my music side of things as cool, this is my music time to be creative, time to do all those kind of things. And then once I've had that outlet, it's like, sweet, move on to something else and then come back to it when I can.
What is a venue that you would love to play at? Venue or festival or whatever that you'd love to play at, and why?
I would love to play Maxworth, 170 Russell, the Forum,
Yeah.
Corner,
Yeah.
all of the
All of those.
They're
It's,
staple Melbourne venues.
You know, Rod Laver Arena.
MCG.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to play the Enmore.
festival hall.
And
The Enmore would be
nice.
cool.
We're going
Yeah,
down
the
to
Enmore would
Shore
be
next week.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm scared.
I'm sure they'll love me. I'm sure the pit will be fine.
Surely.
That's just the big Melbourne staples, really, and
Yeah.
pretty much, all the venues we've seen the bands in, like I said.
Yeah,
Like Max Watts, the Corner. That's how we feel we've made it, at least as a local or national kind of band, as we're playing those.
That's like the next step up.
Yeah. Well, our main place that we are live socially, I suppose, is Instagram. So whatever that handle is, Outer Worlds Band. Yeah, Outer Worlds Band. Not the video game. Screw that. Follow the music one.
Video game's good though.
Yeah, but the music's better. So follow us on Instagram. That's where we're the most active. So come hang out with us and the 1,000 other people that are doing that. Definitely spin Demarcation, because that's going to at least get you set up for what we're going to do this year, so you can start to live the experience. And then check us out, hopefully in Geelong on the 7th of March, or maybe a little bit later in March. I don't know. Maybe there'll be something at the Bendigo Hotel around the end of
Maybe.
March. I don't know. You got to follow us on socials to find that out. So do it.
I really appreciate you guys doing this, and we'll keep in touch. I'll send that through to Dropbox in a week or so.
Yeah, sweet.
And yeah, we'll do this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks
Thanks
so
for
much,
having us.
guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening.
You too.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.